Welcome to the CTP training video session on how to start a translation agency business. When you start a translation agency, you are essentially becoming the middleman in the translation equation. Having a good business plan and working out what you want your agency to do can make the difference between success and failure. Please note, this video presentation cannot and should not be considered legal, accounting, insurance, or professional tax advice. Contact qualified legal, tax, and accounting experts before taking any action. Decisions. Let's say you're a successful freelancer and you want to grow your business beyond your own personal capacity. You've done everything you can to expand your own productivity and efficiency, but you still want to grow your business. Or you're tired of seeing your part of the fee you could have charged go to an agency, and you'd like to cut out the middleman. Or perhaps you keep getting queries about translating out of your native language instead of into it, or about a specialty you don't possess, say legal translation or medical work. Or finally, perhaps you and a colleague or two or three would like to go into business together to pool your talents and time. Some of the choices you need to make are primarily a matter of scale, no matter what kind of translation business you run. For example, whether you're a freelancer or an agency, you'll always need a website. You may or may not want to have a physical bricks and mortar site for clients to come to, and business permits, licenses, business names, and so forth are all items you'll need to deal with at some level as well if you do have a physical site. You'll also always need your dictionaries, offline and online, and translation tools, whether they are just a computer, a modem, and a fast internet connection, or CAT and TM tools, phone, fax, Skype, alignment tools, cloud storage, memberships, advertising, marketing, etc. One difference: will your agency only use freelancers, or will you employ in-house full-time, part-time translators? This is a big decision. It affects your startup costs and how your business will function. It's partly dependent on how many and what services or languages will your agency offer, i.e., how specialized will your agency be? Finally, there are other issues you'll need to consider as well. We'll cover the most important of these in this presentation. In-house or freelancers. Who will do your work? Do you want to hire full-time or part-time workers with a fixed salary? Or do you want to contract out per-project freelancers? Or do you want to do something in between these two options? Both of these are valid business models. In general, hiring out work to freelancers will cost more annually than paying a translator an annual salary, as long as you choose your languages, specializations, and marketing approach properly. But using freelancers will give you greater flexibility on a number of levels. Specialize. Do consider beginning your agency with a specialty, i.e., only a few related languages or only a few fields. That will allow you to target your marketing efforts more efficiently so that you don't waste your time and money going after every potential project that crosses your radar. Just as specializing can help a freelancer develop their own brand, so too will it help your newborn agency. Figure out why clients should go to your new ABC Global Translation Company agency instead of the one they've used all along, or instead of finding another freelancer, and then figure out a way to get that info to your potential and future clients. Do you want to start out with translation only? Or are you comfortable with auxiliary services such as interpreting, DTP, that's desktop publishing, proofreading, voiceovers, etc.? Or would you rather provide just one of those? Figure out what the market needs and how that intersects with your interests and your skill set as a manager and entrepreneur, as well as a translator. Specializing will also help you figure out how best to manage your agent's quality control processes. We'll deal with quality issues in a moment, but if you can personally verify the quality of at least some of the work that's coming out of your agency, that may give you some peace of mind. People issues. If you haven't been a translation project manager, you might consider a stint as one in preparation for your own business. Who knows? You might find you like it. But if you've already worked as a project manager or don't want to do so, be aware that managing workflow is different when it's not your own. Ideally, you should build a list of good, reliable translators that you can either send work to as freelancers or try to hire before you begin your agency. Have redundancy in your list if at all possible, i.e. some backup names that you can contact in case everyone is busy, someone gets sick, or someone else drops the ball. Or, should you be so lucky, you start to get more business than you can handle right off the bat. How will you expand your list of translators, or start it if you don't have one already? How will you verify the skills of professionals in fields or languages in which you have no expertise? Do you even want to work in fields or languages that you and/or your colleagues don't already work in? Think about these issues as you develop your business plan. You'll also need to have a separate team or set of people to proofread projects as they come in. 2 sets of eyes are much more likely to catch errors than 1. And it's much harder to fix a bad impression from a sloppy translation that's filled with errors than to get it right in the first place. Set up your quality control processes and make everyone honor them. You'll need 1 or more project managers or yourself to make sure that any large project that's split among several translators is consistent and that it gets split up without parts of it being missed. Depending on the size of your new agency, you may also want to have an accountant or a bookkeeper to deal with issues such as billing, accounts receivable, payroll, taxes, receipts, expenses, etc. These are all things you either took care of yourself as a freelancer or else you farmed them out to a professional to take care of for you. Decide how you want to spend your time and how you want to spread your agency's resources. Software issues. Again, some software issues are simply a matter of scale when compared to freelancing. For example, instead of simple invoices through MS Word, PayPal, or Elance, or paper invoices for local clients, you'll need invoicing software that will standardize your invoicing practices across your agency. In all likelihood, you may well need translation project management software, and perhaps translation memory and alignment software too. If you aren't currently using computer-assisted translation software, your agency may work better with that for larger projects. If you choose to hire in-house translators, you'll have to deal with payroll, taxes, time cards, wages, etc. Many of these can be contracted out, of course, or if you've hired a bookkeeper or accountant, you'll need to buy the software they recommend. If you want to use CAT tools, you'll need to think about buying enterprise licenses, which are more expensive than individual ones, of course. Computer memory or storage. Hopefully you'll have many files coming through your agency, and you'll need to store those files for future reference, for proofreading before sending out, etc. Either you'll need hard drives for long-term storage and backup as well, or else you'll need to pay for storage elsewhere or in the cloud. Of course, technically this is a hardware, not a software issue, but with the cloud, that line is blurring. Money issues. As an agency, you're the middleman in the translation equation. If your translators are in-house, of course, you're also the supplier. And if you're hiring freelancers, you're both buyer and supplier. So this gets complicated, but it's easier for our purposes today if we don't sweat the details all too much. So how does being in the middle relate to money? Simple. It's all a matter of cash flow. Your clients pay you and you pay your translators. If there's a problem on either end, you're in the middle. That means you'll need to have the financial resources to pay a translator if a client stiffs you or any other unpleasant but imaginable circumstances. Other aspects of cash flow, your operating costs, are once again a matter of scale when compared to a freelance business. But that scale can get huge. Make sure you've got enough cash, line of credit, or backers that you can make it through the lean months or the opening thin months. Make sure you've covered marketing and advertising in your business plan. The costs of running an agency can be staggering compared to a freelance business. Make sure you've identified your target market and are ready to drive clients to your business so that you can cover those costs. Insurance and legal issues. Insurance. Depending on what kind of translation agency you choose to operate, you may well need workers' compensation, health insurance, indemnification insurance, and possibly more. Talk to a good insurance professional. Legal. Protect yourself. Consult a legal professional about whether you need your freelancers to sign confidentiality agreements or NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and what kind of standardized contract, if any, you should use for clients and/or freelancers and/or employees. If you have them, use those contracts and CAs or NDAs religiously. Make sure everyone signs and follows them. Even with the best laid plans, you may find yourself suing someone, contacting a collection agency, or being sued. Perhaps a client hasn't paid in months, or a translator slipped in the company bathroom and broke their big toe. Ouch. Or perhaps a client is dissatisfied with a project you delivered and won't let you try to make it right. Do try to make it right. Try to avoid these situations if at all possible. Lawsuits are no fun and they can be very costly, as well as potentially ruining your reputation and destroying your business. And in the end, little of the money you recoup, should you have to press suit, winds up in your pocket anyway. Plus the aggravation. Remember, law and insurance are specialty fields, not DIY projects. Work with your insurance professional and, should you need one, a legal professional to protect your business. Plan, plan, and plan some more. There are many elements that go into starting a successful translation agency business, and the better your planning, the better your chances of success. Thank you for joining us for this CTP training video session on how to start a translation agency business.